This is KGW News at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brenda Braxton. 15 Oregon counties are now at extreme risk as COVID cases surge in the state. That means tightened restrictions for restaurants, including no indoor dining. We will have more on exactly what those restrictions are in a moment. But first, Oregon Governor Kate Brown wrapping up a press conference within the last 20 minutes. She cited widespread COVID cases and an increase in hospitalizations in younger people as the two reasons for tightening restrictions.
I was presented with data showing two paths Oregon could take. One in which we took no additional action and stood by while more people die from this disease, or another that required a temporary tightening of restrictions for certain counties, but could save hundreds of lives and prevent as many as 450 hospitalizations over the next 3 weeks. As your governor, I chose to save lives.
Dozens of county commissions in Oregon signed a letter asking Governor Brown to back off the new restrictions. She says she worked with the state legislature to secure $20 million in urgent relief for businesses in that extreme category. Those businesses will be able to apply for relief money. Now back to those new risk levels. They just kicked in today. Take a look at this map. The counties in red are at extreme risk. They include Multnomah, Marion, Polk, and Clackamas. Restaurants there can no longer offer indoor dining, but they can seat more customers outside. They can now serve 100 people outdoors instead of 50, as long as they follow health and safety guidelines. Gyms and movie theaters are only able to have 6 customers inside at one time. Washington is changing the way it distributes vaccines, hoping to reach more people. Until now, health officials allocated doses based on each county's population. Counties with more people got more doses. Now Washington will also consider demand. For instance, if a hospital requests more vaccines, the state will distribute those doses. OHSU says it's easier now to make vaccine appointments on its website. It releases most new slots at 9 a.m., but they are no longer filling up immediately. That's because vaccine options have expanded, so the competition isn't quite so fierce. Well, children 10 and younger are now getting COVID at higher rates than senior citizens. The American Academy of Pediatrics says children make up 20% of all new cases. The big difference is kids can't get the COVID vaccine yet. The return to in-person learning is also playing a role. The overwhelming majority of kids who get infected will survive, but there's still a risk.
It's still a dangerous disease for kids. It still is transmitted by kids. We still see long COVID in kids. We see the multi-system organ failure problem in kids.
Until numbers are lower, experts warn against kids spending the night together or eating in a communal setting like an overnight camp. We have some breaking news. The Biden administration saying it will restrict travel from India to the U.S. starting Tuesday, May 4th. The policy will not apply to American citizens. India is right in the middle of a deadly second wave of COVID infections. It surpassed 200,000 COVID deaths earlier this week. This noon, we also have a traffic alert. All southbound lanes of I-205 near Stafford Road are back open after a crash this morning. Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue tweeted these photos and video. 2 cars crashed and a helicopter took 1 person to the hospital. We don't know their condition. Crews on scene had to clean up spilled fuel before the freeway could reopen. Well, the pandemic also put a lot of people out of work, and crooks preyed on that, submitting fake unemployment claims. Washington was hit especially hard. Now an investigation finds the state wasn't prepared. Hundreds of thousands of people applied for unemployment last year. The sheer volume overwhelmed the state's Employment Security Department. That allowed scammers to file false claims totaling $500 million. Now people who should be getting the money say they haven't seen a dime.
I just rechecked the promised web-based front-facing portal, for answering common questions. And I have to say, it's still a joke.
Lawmakers say they want the agency to do more to prevent problems in the future. They've asked for plans to be detailed in writing. All right, let's give you this live look from Stoller Family Vineyards. We have a little tiny blue there in the distance, but lots of gray clouds. When it comes to the weather on this final day of April, it really is a mix of the clouds, the blue, the sunshine. Rod, what about the rain? I see the radar fired up there.
Yeah, so far most of the rain has been stuck along the coast, especially the north coast. So here's the wide picture. You can see the clouds marching inland. You can see what's a broken line of mostly light showers. Now, moving into, say, central Washington, but radar here at home. Longview's had some traces of rain. Story's had some light rain. There's just not much to be found out there. Now, all of our computer modeling still gives us a decent chance of picking up just a dab of rain in the coming hours here in Portland and Salem. Cannon Beach Live, where they've had showers more than not today, 53 degrees. It's actually sunny, partly cloudy out in the gorge. That is Elk Ridge Golf Course out in Carson, looking back across at Oregon. And there are the clouds over Portland. We're at 66. I think either nothing, a trace, or 5/100ths of an inch at best this afternoon, Brenda. Portland's high temperature in the upper 60s. It's tough to make it rain all of a sudden.
I know, right? That's so not the Northwest usually. Thank you, sir. Washington's earthquake early warning system will go live on Tuesday. Shake Alert uses a network of seismographs to detect a quake and then send out an alert before the shaking ever begins. During a webinar yesterday, Washington emergency management officials outlined some of the technology that's helping protect the public.
What the Shake Alert system is designed to do is detect earthquakes as they begin very close to their epicenters.
Now, Washington State is earthquake country. We have the second highest earthquake risk in the United States, and we also have one of the highest tsunami risks in the United States.
Last month, Shake Alert went live here in Oregon. It automatically notifies your phone, similar to an Amber Alert, but you can also download the Shake Alert app.